Is it recording? Okay, hi. So I just wanted to demonstrate the possibility for games using Playing Cards IO. Playing Cards IO is a tabletop gaming platform. Looks like this. It is set up so that people can play cards remotely, and as they say here, all movements are synchronized. You have to bring your own chat, so this would be done while using Google Meet or your Zoom lesson or whatever. Anyway, they have the ability to play backgammon and checkers and other games, but I'm interested in making my own game, so I'm using this this template here of Remote Insensitivity, which is their version of a game of Cards Against Humanity, which I guess they can't use that title. Anyway, so I just want to show you some of the possibilities. This is what it looks like after I've customized it, and I'm going to make it full screen because I think the cards are too small, but they don't have the ability to change that yet. Sorry, let me get my annotation tool out of the way. Okay, so I'm setting this up to play. I would get the code to play. So this thing here has the code. I would copy the code and put that in my chat to my student or students, and then have them click on the code or copy and paste the code. And now my students do not see my cards. I don't see their cards. And this is what I'm going to do. So this is a blends Uno. And as I take cards down into my hand, this white section at the bottom is my hand. I see it. My students don't see these cards. I'm bringing 5 cards down here. Now I already have my student set up, but I want you to see what happens. My student only has 4 cards in his hand, and I want you to see, you can see this card going into the student's hand, and then it disappears. You don't see it. It's in their hand, and my student now has 5 cards. I have 5 cards. And we're going to play Uno. So I bring this over and tap it. Oh, we're not going to start with that one. We start with the word crib. And this is blends. So for my students working on initial blends, I will tell them you are looking for a word with the same initial blend or the same medial vowel or the same ending consonant or consonants. So crib. And my student looks at his hand. I can't see and I can't help. And my student says, oh, I can't play. And the student has to bring down another card, just like in Uno. Oh, wait, I can play this one. This card is trip, and it has the same vowel. So now I'm saying, oh my goodness, trip. Let me look at my hand. Can I play anything on trip? I can't play, but I've got a wild card here. Here's my wild card, and I want to play the vowel eh. I want you to find a word with the vowel eh. And so my student looks at his hand, says, oh, can't play. Let me bring a card down into my deck. And then I say, oh, here's one. My word is fleck. It has the E that says eh. Bring it up here. My student says, oh, look, I have got flesh. It has the same beginning, blend. And then my student plays, and we go back and forth until one of us says Uno, and then the next round we go out and win. The idea being to get rid of all of our cards. Really the idea being to practice reading these words and blending these words and noticing the parts of the words, the sounds within the words. That's my goal. But for my student, it's a game. So we play Blends Uno and we get to practice those skills. Okay, so that's one possibility. I have the same game here for my older kids, same idea. And this one, my student is set up to play. And because this is I'm working with Latin affixes, words with Latin roots here, I put out 2 of them and I tell my student, you can play the same prefix, the same root word, or the same suffix, or the same part of speech. And it just gives me a chance to teach as we're playing a game. So inscribe, scribe means to write. So to inscribe, I am writing in something like the front of my book. I will inscribe my name. Or postscript, script and scribe, they both mean write. Postscript is something that the author writes after he's finished his book. My student looks at his words and he says, I've got, and he of course has to read it, prescription. It has the same root, prescription, and it is something the doctor writes to give me medicine. Excuse me. And then I look at mine, prescription. Ooh, inscribe. I don't see anything popping out at me. To inscribe is a verb. Do I have any verbs? Nope. Oh, look at this. I didn't even see this. Manuscript. I have this word manuscript. Man means hand. Script is to write. So a manuscript is when I have handwritten my novel. It's my manuscript. And my student goes back and forth and looks at his words and manuscript. And here we go. I have indescribable, not able to be described. And scribe being to write. So again, another Uno type game for my older students who are working on morphology. We get to work on defining the words, looking at the roots and the affixes. And it's more of a chance for me to continue teaching as we play a game. So that's one possibility here. Another possibility is, oops, did I not set it up? This one. Here, I started out doing another short vowel, or I started using my blends Uno, and I thought, okay, I could play it this way. And I didn't change the name of the deck to not blends Uno, but something else. But I could do it like we do. I've done this with short vowels and with like R-controlled vowels, and I'll make another deck here. And I would say we're looking for words that begin with or have the I sound in it. And my student says, oh, here we go. I have prim. Yep. So I take that over to my spot. Good job. And we replace the card. Oh, shoot, that wasn't supposed to be there. Place the card. And it's my turn, and I say I'm looking for something with the O says ah, and I'll say I've got block and spot. And now I want you to notice as I stack the cards here, I can then use that and move both of them over to my spot, and we replace the cards. And I do something like this with my R-controlled or whatever I want to, and I could put various categories here if I want to. If I'm working on parts of speech, I might put nouns, verbs, adjectives, whatever here, and then the words, or I could put, AR, and ER, and OR here, and then have various words here to play. I don't know what I would call this game. It's just, a way of classifying and noticing words. Okay, now it's your turn. I see drum and swum, and then I get to drag these over to my winning hand or my student's winning hand, and I would play this way. Again, it's just more of a chance to gamify review and noticing what is going on in these words. Oh, and so my student, I'm sorry, I also have this set up on another computer, my iPad, and so it can be done this way. That wasn't supposed to be just me working it, but so my student, so you can see is my student's looking for this. You can see my student is pulling it down on their device and saying, okay, there it is. Yeah, and oh, I have to put new cards out here. Now I'm looking for it, and then it'd be my turn, and I do it on my device. So it's a way of having where you don't see each other's hands, and you get to play and actually flip cards over and play the game this way. I have one other type of game that I've used that I'll show you quickly. This one is for, and I set this up ahead. This one is I'm working with some of my older students on the morphology. And again, it's more of a chance for me to talk about words while we're playing a game. And I'll say, okay, we're trying to make words with various prefixes, root words, and suffixes. And I'll say, let's see, what roots do we have? I've got track, that means to pull, and gress is to step. Got that twice here. And pulse is to push, and no, that's it. Let's see, what can I do with tract? I can do contract, or I can do congress, and the idea is to make as long a word as I can and collect the most cards. Do I have a shun? I don't have a shun. Press 8. I don't see it. I can't use the 8 with the tract. Can I? Can you think? In. Anyway, so I might say, okay, here we go. I'm going to pull congress. So the idea of a congress is that they're supposed to step together. Whether or not they do that is another issue. Anyway, and then we say, okay, good, I've got these two, and let's replace the cards, and what can you come up with? And I've got another con and a shun. Shuns are nice. I like shuns. They make a lot of words. Oh, there was an if there. I didn't even notice that. I could have had attractive, couldn't I? Okay, because I think I saw an at. Did I? Nope. Distraction. So here we go. And I see, okay, I hear my tract is to pull. So if I'm going to have a distraction, distraction is something that pulls my attention away from what I'm supposed to be doing. And, you know, so with this, even for my advanced students, you know, it's a tough game, but we work together and try to make words out of it. And it's more of a chance for me to talk about the affixes and what they mean and how they work together, and how we've got these chameleon ones that they change their spelling depending on what's next to it, because I don't say, I might say complete, but I don't say complete, but I would say con something else, or construct. Okay, rupt. Oh, I like this one. Oh, in fact, in front of rupt, I have corrupt. It's not corrupt, but it's corrupt. Corrupt. Do I have a shun? Corruptive? Is that a word? Or how about, I like corruptible. Able to be corrupted. There we go. We've made a nice word. We stack it up and we pull it over here to my deck. And, you know, so we go on playing. And my student would be able to do this on his device. And I would be able to talk through what's happening with these words. Anyway, so this is one of the games I've played, and I put tokens out here on this game because I'd say if you made a word with 3 or more parts, you could get an extra token. And then if you want to, like, I've got too many of these together, I want to change it, I say, let's spend a token and you can change out some of the cards. And if I did that, so let me replace these cards here, turn them over, and let's say, okay, I don't like this, and I want to spend my token. So the token I received earlier, I'm going to spend, and I'm going to say I'm going to cover up this one because we have two of those. They don't need that, and I'm going to cover up 8 because I haven't seen any words that use the 8 yet, or whatever. And these other, you can see that they're still here. The other cards are still there. So it's just like we would stack cards on top of each other. Anyway, so this was just one of the games I'd come up with for one of my advanced students that needed, when they need a break from the teaching, and you're still teaching, but they might need a break from the writing or from whatever else they're doing. And if you say it's a game, it sure goes down a whole lot better than saying, okay, now we're going to look at word trees, or now we're going to review these things. Just calling it a game helps. Anyway, so that is a quick view of some of the games I've done with my students, and then I will show you in a minute how to build some of these.